So I am the only black woman out of like 400 people at my work. I'm literally the only black woman in the whole building, in the whole headquarters building. And so when things happen there, I don't know who I'm supposed to talk to. And my parents, I love them, but like I feel like people don't understand. Sometimes I have to reach out to other mothers who are like African American so I can get advice because my mom doesn't know how to respond.
So you all have just seen the video of the lady in her car. She is crying. She is very much upset, okay? And it is because whatever was going on in her workplace, she obviously felt uncomfortable, unsafe, and she had no one to turn to. Obviously, it was a racial matter. That's why she said, I am like one of like 400 people in here, and I'm the only black one, okay? And she was saying, I love my parents, but at the end of the day, I have no one really else to turn to because they didn't prepare me for this and they have really nothing to say. Now, this lady is adopted, okay? So this is the problem when you are adopting black children and you are non-black, okay? Because you're not exposing them to said realities of the world. All right. So in terms of racism, in terms of anti-black slurs, microaggressions, etc., you're not exposing them to this. And I'm not saying for you to go out there and call them anything. Okay. I'm saying you're not telling them, yo, because you are a black, because you're a certain color, you may get called X. This is what it will look like for you. Okay. And that's the thing. You're treating them, or they would treat you like you are just another white person. Be like, I don't see color at all. But when you say I don't see color, that comes off as diminishing what it is that people have experienced. So by you saying I don't see color, that is you essentially saying, well, none of that even matters. All of the microaggressions, the racism, anti-black slurs. I mean, come on, that's not related to your color. I'm okay. I don't see color. But you are at the same time, by you saying that, thinking it's perfectly fine, you're also saying, I don't see the discrimination. I don't see the issue. Heck, I even had that recently happen to me at my job, okay, that I was at. And the person went and said, oh, there's no discrimination here. I said, oh, okay. I'm black, you're white. There's hardly any black people here anyways. And you're going to tell me that there's no discrimination. Well, of course you haven't experienced any of it. But then when talking to other black people, they say that they have experienced it. But you haven't. So we go, maybe we're all lying. Okay? Come on. But this is the thing. When you go and say that, you diminish the realities of the world that these certain people, there's a certain group of people, black people, have to experience and are going to experience. So that was the thing about it. You're not letting them know, like, racism exists. This is what it looks like. It's not as simple as calling someone the N-word. It could be something on the line of, we ain't giving you a loan. We ain't giving you a job. Hey, go and lynch a person. Go and just kill that person. Let's go and, oh, someone's walking while black. Let's go and arrest them. That's the thing about it, okay? There are simply certain things that overall need to be taught. If you are not black and you are adopting a black child or children, whatever, there are certain things that need to be taught. There are certain things where you need to be like, okay, let's get into this, okay? Here are certain realities. I'm not saying at the age of 1, you need to, let's open up the book. We ain't doing all that. But you could do it every week. Let's go and have a Black History Day or something. Hey, let's go and talk about whatever. If you see a certain movie, and expose them to certain movies, okay? I'm not saying that you have to expose them to Sankofa, even though I do like Sankofa. No one's saying you got to put on the Django's, okay? Or the Roots, Color Purples, whatever. But there are certain movies that, yes, you should be exposing them to. And it obviously, it has to be age appropriate, whenever, okay? I don't think people need to be seeing someone get beheaded or lynched at the age of 3, okay? Or 5. But there are certain movies that you should be exposing people to. I remember when I was in elementary, we had like this Martin Luther King, and I'm sure a whole bunch of people have seen it. So Martin Luther King animated movie, and it was like going back in time. I think it was going back in time or in the future, something like that. And it was really good. Okay, so I enjoyed that when I was a kid, but they had so many other ones that were like that. Expose them to black animation, and expose them to black television. Okay, my favorites was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I liked The Family Matters, That's So Raven. I mean, there was so many other black, The Cosby Show. I even watch that to this day. There were so many different black shows, Living Single, that I enjoyed, from a young age into now. And of course, you could show them the stuff that you enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to expose them to their heritage. It's like me. If I were to adopt, let's say, a Chinese girl or a Chinese boy, let's just say a Chinese girl. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to eat Chinese food. We're not going to look at anything China. We're not. The only thing we're going to have China up in here is made in China. Okay, but I'm not going to expose you to anything. New Year, Lunar New Year, we ain't doing it. Okay, now you would be like, wait, well, that's a bit harsh. Shouldn't you? That's the point. You would be more inclined to, especially if you know another language, or if you want to learn another language, hey, maybe let's go and learn some Chinese together. Okay. Hey, let's go and look at different Chinese cuisines. Hey, let's go and look at your history, for example. That's how you would do it. Hey, if there's some kind of China, made movies, or, I mean, we got so much China money into our cinema too. Hey, let's go and look at some movies that feature, some Chinese actors in here. Let's go and look at that kind of stuff. Let's go and see. YouTube is a great resource. Let's go and look at other, walking around China videos, and let's just go and see what it looks like. Why is that so difficult? Hey, I adopted a black child. Let's say I'm white and I adopted a black child. Man, how do you do this girl's hair? Ooh, can I just put in another ponytail? Hey, let's go on YouTube and let's see about different hair textures and types. Oh, well, her stuff is more like this. Oh, well, let's go and type that into YouTube. Oh, shoot. Okay. You got all these people showing us how to do people's hair. Okay. Let me get on that. Hey, I want to know a little bit more about Black history so I could teach my girl. What can I do? I don't know. Let me go and type in some Black history.com is a great resource if you want to learn about different things. Okay. Or you could follow different Black pages, go on TikTok, you go on Instagram and type in Black news or whatever. And a lot of these other platforms, or a lot of these pages actually have historical facts if you're interested in learning about that. And you can learn about the good, bad, and all the ugliness, okay? You can learn about the innovations that happened. Hey, who invented the curling iron? What about the peanut butters? What about the stop signs? What about, potato chips? You know what I mean? Who's that black guy in that image with Jack Daniels? Okay, it's so much information, so many things. And if you happen to know where exactly in Africa this person may have come from, you could be like, okay, let me go and look at Nigeria. Let's go and look at the culture over there. Let's go and look at the culture over here. There's so many different ways. So it's no excuse why people would say, well, I just didn't expose because I don't see color and I just don't think it's necessary. It may not be necessary for you because you don't have those particular issues, but the child does. So it's not like you could say, I don't, where am I supposed to get it from? I don't have the information. You can't say that. Why? Because there's information at our fingertips. You could easily learn some stuff if you know where to look. And in so many times, you could just go in there and just type in, hey, what's a twist out? Okay, if that's what you want to learn. Or Martin Luther King. And then you could go down the rabbit hole with that. And you don't even have to just bring it up and be like, okay, here's a book, you read it. You teach the kid. That's what's very important. Because even now with, people who have the Black family having their biological kid, even now, we're not being taught properly Black history in schools. You know, and then when you get home, the parents so tired because both parents are working. Everyone's like, ah. And then even now, people aren't even learning as much as they should be learning. I believe that, yes, there needs to definitely be a talk about these important issues, what you can expect, what you can experience while being a Black person. So that's up to the parents. That's the parents' responsibility to reach out, maybe go to some of these, forum groups or whatever that they have on Facebook. Maybe if you know somebody in person, maybe do that. Judging by, she said out of 400 people ish, she's the only Black person. So I doubt there's any Black people in the area. Maybe not. So that's one of the things, you will have to be proactive with it, because at the end of the day, do you really want your child to struggle even more if you claim to love them? But let me know what you all think about Seth's story down below.